Hi, this is Robert Smith. I'm here in Australia, and I'm here with Fran Hatcher. And she has an amazing story about her daughter's journey. And of course, you know, she came to FasterEFT, was using it to help address her emotions. And would you just kind of share a little bit about your daughter's story? Maybe even just share about how bad she was first.
Okay, so my daughter had a mystery illness. No doctor in Australia could tell me what was actually wrong with her. So she started having problems in her head. A lot of it started in her head. So she would have seizures. She was having up to 10 seizures a day. The side of her face would drop, Bell's palsy. She got so bad that she was crawling on the floor, throwing up, you name it, that she had every single symptom you could think of. It affected her whole system.
And so how did this affect you? I mean, here it is, you've got a daughter. How old is she when this happened?
She was early 20s.
Early 20s.
Yeah.
And so why? Why was she sick? What did you find out, or what was your journey? How was it like?
I nursed her for about 3 years because no one could tell me what was wrong with her. So I nursed her. We had lots of trips to the emergency because she wasn't breathing. She'd black out. I couldn't bring her around. So no one really could help me. And it wasn't until I watched a program on ACA, which is in Australia. It's a news show. I saw a woman on there who had Lyme disease, and it was my daughter, 100% my daughter. So I rang up the radio station, the TV station rather, and they put me in contact with the doctor, a Lyme literate doctor. So I took her there and he diagnosed her, took some blood tests, and she had Lyme disease. She had 4 co-infections, which affected her brain, her nervous system, her lungs. She had Pott's disease, which she couldn't breathe properly and her heart would race to the point where it would just over-race and she would black out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she was in a really bad state, mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it was hard for all of us to deal with that, as you could imagine.
Right, so you took care of her.
I did, I had to nurse her and I had a full-time job as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so what did you try to help her? What did you do? What route did you go?
Well, we tried the doctors and they were no help to us whatsoever. But we just tried the doctors. My daughter was in no state to try anything else, but I found FasterEFT and I saw the benefit in it. And I came to training, which was a hard thing for me to do because I had to leave my daughter, who was disabled pretty much, in bed, and leave her with her dad to come down and do the training. But that's how much I believed in it, that it could help her. Because I understand that sickness comes from emotions. I know that.
Well, you do now, but
yeah,
did you know that?
I did. Yeah,
you
I did. Okay. Yeah, because I've always worked on myself and I've always had that insight. But to get her to that level, she had to practically she was on her knees before she would actually listen to what I had to say.
And was she taking medications?
She was taking over 120 pills a week, plus herbal medications that were prescribed for her from her doctors, and vitamins. She was on a huge amount. Our place looked like a pharmacy. And not to mention thousands and thousands of dollars we spent for her care, plus her testing. Yeah.
So
big emotional.
So here it is,
thing.
110 pills.
120. It was over 120 pills a week, yeah.
And then so you came to a training, FasterEFT training, and so you were learning how to address emotions and issues. And so what did you do? Go home and start working on her? Would she let you work on her?
She did. So how it started, I explained the benefits to her. She was too sick to really take it in. So when she would have a seizure, I would lay with her and I'd just tap while she had it. And then she couldn't sleep for a long time afterwards because neurologically it would just keep her awake. She'd be shaking. So I would just lay and tap on her and rub her until she fell asleep. And she said it calms me. So I had a little bell for her, so she would ring the bell and I would come in and comfort her, whatever she needed. And she would ask me, "Mum, can you tap? Can you rub me? Can you tap for me, please?" So I would. I organised sessions for her with Australia's leading practitioners. So,
FasterEFT practitioners?
Yeah. So from the first time she had a session, she came out of there with a bit of a spark in her eye. And she said, "I don't know what they really did, Mum, but they did something and I feel a little bit better."
So here it is, you took the training and then immediately you started tapping her when she asked and helping her.
Yep.
And then how long did it take you actually get her to get sessions? How long was that?
Within a week.
A week.
Yeah.
Now, before the week, you said she walked out or she had a spark. Was she walking before that? Because
No, she was bedridden for 3 to 4 years. Like she would come out and sit with us if she could walk, or we'd bring her out, and she would only be able to stay for a short time. She had to go back to bed. So that was pretty much her existence, was bed.
Okay, so she went. You started getting sessions. How long after you started getting sessions it started helping her?
I noticed from day one.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, even she did. She noticed it. Like she had that spark, and she started coming out of her room more. That's what I first noticed, and I just thought, wow, this is great. And she could talk to us, and I did notice a difference, yeah. But it took probably 4 to 5 months before she came to a weekend seminar in Sydney. Now, she never have done that before, but she stayed for the whole weekend, and she tapped through her stuff.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so she's doing really well.
All right, and then so she started tapping, and you started seeing results.
Yeah, she's just moved out.
Oh, she just now moved out.
Yeah, she's just moved out, and she's got a job as a support worker for women, battered women. Yeah, so she's really.
So here it is. You know, you talk about the emotions affect the body. But what do you think was the cause? Why do you think she had this illness? What would she say? What was her opinion?
She won't really say what it was. She had a lot of trauma early on in her life, and it started when she was 17. Her boyfriend was killed. He was hit by a bus coming to see her to take her out. And she never recovered from that. That was a huge traumatic thing for her. So that was the start. And it's funny because I knew how emotions impact you. So I knew from the time that happened, I knew she would get sick, because I knew she would go down from it eventually. And it took about 3 years.
3 years before she started getting sick.
Yeah.
So after this happened, how was she handling it emotionally because of that event?
She ran.
Oh.
Yeah, she was a runner, so she would just go out with her friends. You mean after the death of a boyfriend?
Yeah, death of a boyfriend.
Yeah, she would run and probably party a little bit too much, trying to forget what was happening to her, until she couldn't run no more. It stopped her literally running. She had to deal with it because it put her in bed.
All right, so all the pills, she's crawling to bed, and you start tapping, you saw immediate results.
Yeah, I did. And she'd ring me and ask, can you come in and do this for me, please?
Very good.
So she knew it felt better.
Right. And so now here it is. I mean, it was not easy as a mother, and you was working too.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
how about the rest of the family? How did they handle it?
My husband's he's a really strong guy. He works full time. He's a hard worker as well. And it was tough for all of us on all levels, financially, because it's very expensive if you've got Lyme disease, doctors and whatnot.
All right. So here it is. You got this tapping now. It is a bit strange. How did your husband first take it?
My husband's been used to me. I've always been this way.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've always done things since I was, definitely.
And you did get some big changes in the seminar too.
I did.
We addressed, because I remember working with you, and this woman here does not look the same as when she first came.
No, I'm a different woman. I was under a lot of pressure when I met you.
Yeah, you definitely did not look healthy.
But that's what I was dealing with at home, plus my own stuff.
Yeah. Very good. So what do you think about this FasterEFT, and what does your daughter think about this?
My daughter would love to come to a level 1 when she gets a bit more financial. She said she'd love to come. And she taps, and I love to look across and see her tapping, because I know I had a part in that. And you've had a part in that too, but for a mother it was beautiful that I could give her that gift.
Yeah. So I just wonder how, if you didn't have FasterEFT, what would have happened? How would it have been?
I don't even want to think about it, because I don't think I could have taken much more.
Right.
And I don't think she could have. Her body wouldn't have been able to take much more of it.
Right. So there's a lot of mothers out there, or even people with Lyme disease. What could you share with them, or what would you say, or how would you?
I would just say there's hope. If my daughter can heal from it, you can too. Yeah. There is hope. Yeah. And it does work. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because there's a lot of mothers out there. There's a lot of people who...
There is. And I talk to them on Facebook. Yeah. I talk to a lot of them, and I private message them, and I just try and instill hope in them, because there is hope. You're not a hopeless cause. I mean, there is something you can do. And even if it is outside the box, what's wrong with that? Give it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Fran.
No worries.
And we're here at level 1.
Yes, level 1.
And good changes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Peace.